March 3, 2025, a date that now echoes in aviation history with chilling silence. Flight 717, a standard commercial route from Chicago to Los Angeles, departed O'Hare International Airport at 6:42 p.m. with 200 passengers and 10 experienced crew members aboard a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, one of the safest and most modern aircraft ever built. The weather was moderate, turbulence low, visibility clear. Everything seemed routine. Until it wasn't. 32 minutes after takeoff, as the plane passed over central Kansas, it simply vanished from radar. No distress signal, no last transmission, no squawk code, just silence. In the control tower, a red alert flashed on glitching radar monitors. Controllers tried to hail the cockpit repeatedly. Nothing. The flight's last known altitude was 38,000 feet, cruising normally. Then, gone. What followed was chaos disguised as calm. FAA teams were dispatched, satellite tracking initiated, nearby aircraft were asked to scan for visuals. None reported seeing anything unusual. No explosion in the sky, no smoke trails, nothing on sonar. But the most terrifying part wasn't that the plane crashed. It's that it left no trace. Not a single piece of debris, no oil slick, no floating life jacket. The ocean wasn't involved. This was continental airspace, and yet the aircraft seemed to dissolve into thin air. As the media frenzy grew, a strange report surfaced. At precisely 7:14 p.m., seconds after the jet disappeared, a bizarre signal was picked up on a remote monitoring station in Colorado. A low-frequency pulse, unlike anything used in civilian or military aviation. Analysts noted it contained a repeating pattern, too structured to be random, but too irregular to be human-made. It didn't match any known communications protocol. Some called it static. Others weren't so sure. The timing was too perfect. Satellite data was inconclusive. Some frames in the satellite video feed appeared corrupted, distorted with strange light flares in a clear sky. A rumor began to spread in online aviation forums, a radar blind spot. A triangle-shaped patch of sky referred to in military circles as Zone 204, supposedly decommissioned decades ago. But then why did Flight 717's last ping register right on its border? And why were search efforts redirected within hours to a completely different quadrant of the Midwest, hundreds of miles off course? More troubling was what wasn't said. The FAA held back the final transponder code sent by the aircraft, later leaked and revealed to be a code 7500. The hijack code. But if that were true, why was no voice communication received? Why did the systems fail instantly afterward? It didn't make sense. On the dark web, a supposed whistleblower posted an encrypted audio file, a garbled recording of what they claimed was the last transmission from the cockpit. Only a few words decipherable. Not clouds. It's opening. Audio experts tried to debunk it. Some said it was edited. Others were convinced it was authentic. Meanwhile, in Alaska, thousands of miles from the flight path, a civilian amateur radio operator picked up a strange frequency on the same night. It was faint, scattered, broken, but it contained coordinates. When plotted, they pointed to a classified section of the Nevada desert. Coincidence or breadcrumb? The mystery deepened when a Coast Guard vessel patrolling the Gulf of Mexico, again nowhere near the expected flight path, reported receiving a brief radar return consistent with a 787 signature. It lasted less than a second. No visual contact. The area was searched, again nothing. Then came the fragment. A fisherman off the Oregon coast found a piece of twisted metal unlike any known aircraft part. Lightweight, seamless, cold to the touch despite the sun. It was sent to a lab. The results came back inconclusive. The alloy contained an element combination not found in current Earth-based manufacturing. Not impossible, just highly unlikely. Mainstream media avoided the story, but underground investigators latched on. Soon, the term quantum vortex event began appearing in conspiracy circles. A theory developed that a temporary rift, a spatial anomaly possibly triggered by rare atmospheric or geomagnetic conditions, had opened mid-flight. A naturally occurring wormhole, some said. Others believed the aircraft encountered a cloaked military experiment. But then, on April 18th, over a month later, an encrypted file was posted to an anonymous server accessible only through Tor. It contained satellite telemetry logs, partially redacted, showing a high-energy signature spike at 39,000 feet in the same area Flight 717 was last seen. It also contained a line of code labeled Project Echo and a cryptic phrase, Vector confirmed. Payload acquired, no one could confirm the source, but it was enough to reignite the storm. Was Flight 717 a test subject? Was there more at stake than a simple aviation mishap? Then came the final twist. A signal was detected again, on the same frequency, at the same time of night, exactly 77 days after the disappearance. This time it was stronger. A repeating tone followed by a 3-second burst of digital static, and a word. Experts filtered and cleaned the audio. The word was returning. That was it. No context, no origin, just the same pulsing signal, now undeniable. Satellite scans of the area showed no anomalies, no aircraft, no weather disturbances, only that strange rhythmic pulse. And then, silence again. No further contact. The US government has since issued no official update. The incident remains labeled under investigation. Flight 717 is still marked as missing on all aviation logs. Families were offered settlements under non-disclosure agreements. Public access to FAA radar logs from that evening has been revoked. And yet the questions remain. Questions without satisfying answers. What could cause an advanced, monitored aircraft to vanish without a trace in the most heavily watched airspace in the world? Could a natural phenomenon like a magnetic anomaly erase both physical matter and digital signatures? Or is there a deeper truth, one not meant for public eyes? Some believe the passengers were taken, not lost. Some say the flight was never meant to reach LA, and that its real mission had nothing to do with commercial aviation. Others believe we are on the verge of discovering a new form of transportation, or contact, or reality. As dusk settles on yet another year without answers, one question grows louder. If it happened once, can it happen again? And more importantly, did Flight 717 leave this world, or just pass into another? Somewhere far above the clouds, or maybe far below the ocean, something still pulses. A signal, a whisper, a trace. It's waiting, listening, and maybe, just maybe, planning its next message.